we went to the town hall for Chris Murphy and Dick Blumenthal yesterday. We arrived at 11:45 to see a long line in front of Duffy Elementary School. Soon the doors opened and the line moved very, very slowly as each name was checked to be sure that they had a confirmed reservation. This allowed the protesters a long time to be in our face. It was very ugly. We were called losers because we lost 3 branches of government. We heard Democrats are racist, which we found confounding. There were 3 people with bullhorns, and they kept it up, taunting nonstop. Hats off to the West Hartford police for keeping the peace. It was really incredible. At one point, one of the people in line could not take it and walked up to one of the men with a bullhorn and spat at the ground. The police were quick to escort him back into the line. Responding to these people is counterproductive, but I think it boiled down inside all of us while we waited out in the cold. The Murphy staff was efficient and careful in going through the computerized reservations, but I think some folks tried to get in who did not have a reservation. Much to our relief, the elementary school auditorium was quite large and comfortable, including a balcony where Ed and I sat. I was afraid we might be sitting in another room with a jumbotron or something, but we were right there in the thick of it, and it was warm and cozy. When Chris came out, there was an immediate reaction. Everyone stood and gave a standing ovation for a very long time. I think this was in part due to the pent-up frustration from listening to the protesters. The mood during his 15-minute talk was more like a Colbert monologue where there was applause and cheers after almost every sentence. Murphy began by saying he was there for 2 reasons: to stand up to this attempt to undo what we have been working for the last 240 years since the signing of the Constitution, and to be sure that our system is around for another 240 years. He made it clear that his views are, that it is his view that this is about to take over the government by privileged white men. At one point, in response to a question, he said this is all about white male privilege. That's all that DEI, the opposition to DEI, that's all it is. It's opposition to losing white male privilege. I'd have to say his focus was much more on Musk and the tech brothers than Trump. If you have not read the Techno-Optimist Manifesto, I highly recommend it. After the audience questions began, Dick Blumenthal arrived, but he did not give any remarks. He just started to answer the questions. He pointed out how similar this time is to Germany in the 1930s. Although I surely agree, I was surprised to hear him say this publicly. They both admitted that it was a mistake to vote for Marco Rubio, but they felt that he changed from what they knew him before when he was as senator. They apologized and said that they would not vote for any other Trump appointees until things come back to a more normal process or procedure. Dick pointed out that eliminating USAID hurts American as it employs mostly American workers, and the actual aid is purchased from U.S. farmers and U.S. pharma companies. Both pointed out that unlike the 2017 tax cuts, which were paid by increased national debt, this time it would be paid for by reducing other government spending. Chris and Dick said they would be working 24/7 to do all that they can do to work against the Trump administration. However, when asked what we can do, they did not have much to offer except keep on standing up and doing what we do here every week. The audience was willing to do that. Hopefully, the negative effects will be so pronounced that the amount of overreach so egregious that the Congress will shift in 2026. I suspect there will be more of these town halls.